How does Cap know how strong Spider-Man is? Because when they fought in the airport, it seems weird that Cap would throw down this crate on a kid, right? Since Peter's not strong enough, it could have crushed him like a pancake. Well, if we go back to when they fight, there's a part where Cap grabs Peter's web. In this moment, Cap is able to measure how strong Peter is. And because of this, he knows he can safely throw the crate at him, and he'll be fine.
Brooklyn.
Did you know this detail in Avengers 1? After the team defeated the Chitauri army, Tony mentions that he saw a shawarma place and wanted to try it.
You ever tried shawarma? There's a shawarma joint about 2 blocks from here. I don't know what it is, but I want to try it.
But did you know we actually see that shawarma shack during the battle? When Tony gets sent flying and crashes down in the street, look closely at the background. You can spot the same shawarma place right there. Did you know when MJ actually realized that Peter is Spider-Man?
I'm Spider-Man. I mean, I've been watching you for like a while now. It's kind of obvious.
During the bus scene, Peter accidentally calls in a drone strike on Brad. To stop the drone, he jumps out of the bus but distracts his classmates first so no one sees. Except if you look closely, you'll notice MJ never looks away. She actually seen everything. And when Peter gets back on the bus, she stares at him suspiciously. Yeah, she knew. Did you know that Doc Ock's tentacles basically have RGB gamer lights? Marvel added this detail to show who's in control. When the tentacles are in charge, the lights are showing as color red.
Wanna play a game?
After Peter takes control using his nanotech, they turn blue. And once Doc Ock is fully cured, the lights become white. It's such a cool way to visualize who's in control. Did you know this funny detail in Thor Ragnarok? Near the end, when everyone's on the ship looking for a new home, there's a scene where Loki walks past Hulk. If you look closely, Hulk clenches his fist and looks angry. That's because the last time he saw Loki was in Avengers 1 as a villain blowing up buildings. And now Loki's suddenly a teammate? Hulk's tiny green brain just can't process it. Did you know that when Hulk uses the gauntlet, only his right arm is shown glowing? But when Tony uses the stones, if you look closely, the light even reaches the left side of his body. That's because Tony designed his nanotech suit to absorb the full power of all 6 Infinity Stones, essentially turning his entire suit into the gauntlet. So even though his body isn't as strong as Hulk's or Thanos's, he was still able to do the snap.
Iron Man.
Did you know why Hawkeye's time travel suit had a timer instead of using the normal controls when they were testing it? Well, this is because Tony knows that if the time travel works and Hawkeye saw his family again, he may choose to stay and not go back, and it will cause a problem with the timeline branching out. So to prevent this, they put a timer in his suit that will automatically pull him back to the present time. Did you know why Toby's back always seems to be hurting in Spider-Man No Way Home?
That's good.
Most people think it's just a sign that his version of Spider-Man is getting older. But that's not actually the case. It's a reference to Spider-Man 2, where Toby had a bad landing while jumping between buildings and hurt his back.
My back.
Did you know why Tony's suit didn't detect that his building was being invaded by the future Avengers in Endgame? Well, the past Iron Man wasn't aware of it because future Tony took several precautions to avoid detection by Jarvis. For example, when he scanned the building to locate the Avengers. If you look closely, Iron Man himself is the only one missing from the scan. That's because he intentionally excluded his past self, so Jarvis wouldn't detect anything suspicious. Did you know that when Tony and the team infiltrated Avengers Tower to steal the stones in Endgame, Tony entered through a broken window? But if you look closely, when he exits the suit, he actually removes the nanotech starting from his feet, so he wouldn't make any sound when he landed. Smart and sneaky. Did you know what Peter's Spidey sense actually looks like? In the comics, it's usually drawn as wavy lines above his head, but we never see it in live action. Or did we? In Spider-Man No Way Home, when Doctor Strange pulls Peter's soul out of his body, his physical form keeps moving guided only by his Spidey sense. And if you squint and look closely at Peter's astral form, you can actually see the Spidey sense appear. And it's surprisingly comic accurate. Did you know this hilarious detail in Avengers Endgame? When the team time travels back to 2012, there's a scene where Loki mocks Cap by transforming into him.
My way down to coordinate search and rescue.
What's funny is, if you look at Hulk, he genuinely looks confused at first. But once Loki changes back, Hulk realizes what happened and gets mad at him.
Way down to coordinate search and rescue.
Honestly.
Why did the older, more experienced Steve lose to his younger self in Endgame? You'd think that after fighting Ultron and Thanos, it would be easy for him to win. But during their fight, the younger Cap nearly defeats him, and only losing when Steve mentions Bucky.
Bucky is alive.
That's because the younger version was fighting without hesitation, fully convinced he was facing Loki. Meanwhile, the older Steve was holding back, careful not to seriously injure his younger self and accidentally cause the timeline to branch.
I don't want to hurt you.
Did you know this amazing attention to detail in Ant-Man? After the fight with Ultron, Thor returns to Asgard by summoning the Bifrost in front of Avengers HQ, leaving a burn mark on the grass.
That man has no regard for lawn maintenance.
What's amazing is that in Ant-Man, when Scott flies over Avengers HQ, if you look closely, you can actually see that same circular mark left by the Bifrost. It's such a small detail, but it shows how connected the MCU really is. Did you know this small detail in Spider-Man Far From Home? When Peter accidentally activates the drone, he has to shut it down using his webs. But if you look closely, before he fires the webs to destroy it, he first attaches the drone to a rock. He does this so that if he misses or hits it at the wrong angle, the drone won't fly off and accidentally crash into the bus his classmates are on. Did you know why Cap first removes Iron Man's helmet before shutting down his arc reactor during their fight? Some people think it was to intimidate Tony, like a way of saying he could end him if he wanted to. But actually, it's because if Cap disabled the suit with the helmet still on, it would also cut off Tony's oxygen supply. That's why Cap removes the helmet first, so Tony wouldn't suffocate when he destroys the suit. Did you know why Tony Stark created those weird little boosters in Spider-Man Homecoming? Well, it's actually because of what happened in Avengers 1. When one of the helicarrier's turbines got damaged, Tony had to manually fly in and push it to start the blades, where he got caught inside and almost got shredded. So to avoid ever having to do that again, he built these mini boosters to push heavy objects remotely instead of doing it manually. Did you know that in Avengers 1, when Tony had to catch the nuke and fly it into space toward the Chitauri mothership, he almost got sent to the Shadow Realm. So to make sure that never happens again, he later developed remotely controlled suits that he can pilot from anywhere, so he doesn't always have to put his own life on the line. Did you know how Thanos was able to destroy Captain America's shield? Most people think it's simply because Thanos is insanely strong, but actually, it's because his blade is made of Oru metal, the same material Mjolnir is forged from. Oru is crafted from the heart of a dying star and is much harder than vibranium, which is why it was able to slice through Cap's shield like paper. Did you know that in Iron Man 3, when Tony goes missing and Pepper finds his helmet, there's a small detail you might have missed. While she's watching the recorded message, if you look at the screen, you'll notice a weird glitch. That's because the helmet she's holding has a big crack on the left side. And it's amazing that they even added that damage into the heads-up display. Did you know that Odin basically predicted the future of the MCU? When Thor and Loki were still children, Odin told them they were both destined to be kings.
Only one of you can ascend to the throne, but both of you were born to be kings.
Most people thought he only meant Thor, since he was set to rule Asgard. But after decades of waiting, Loki didn't just become king of the 9 realms. He ended up on a throne that literally holds the entire multiverse. So in the end, they really were both fated to become kings. How strong is Spider-Man? We know that he is really, really strong physically, but we almost never see it used unless he's fighting. But Marvel actually puts in subtle details to always show it. For example, in Spider-Man Homecoming, when Peter is talking to Tony, if you look in the back, you'll see Happy having a hard time getting the case with Spider-Man's suit, since it's really heavy, and he needs to use both his fat hands just to lift it. But as soon as Peter holds it, he only needs to use one arm and even swings it around like it's empty. Just a small showcase of amazing detail. Who is the strongest of the 3 Spider-Men? Is it Tom since he's the youngest? Well, if you believe it, it's actually the OG Spider-Man. Not just because he is much more experienced, but even physically, he's more jacked up.
How?
Here is an example. When Tom decided to log out Green Goblin from life, he really meant it, and he used his full force to throw down his glider. Just look at his serious face. But this full Super Saiyan mode of Tom was easily parried by Toby, without even making a face.
Gonna cry?
So he is much stronger than them. Wait, but what about Andrew's Spider-Man?
Get out of here. Get out of here, man!
After Tony Stark finished his demonstration for Jericho in Iron Man 1, the bald man calls him to check if the presentation is done. What's amazing is we learned later in the movie that Obadiah is the one who ordered to abduct Tony after this deal in Afghanistan. So, the actual reason he called him here is to check if he was still alive, since their plan almost failed because Tony was actually 3 hours late to their meeting.
For 3 hours, you got me standing.
Waiting on you now. Let's go.
So this call from Obadiah was to double-check his position before they continued with their plan to abduct Tony.
You fat, bald bastard!